Good morning and welcome to another episode of Josh and Pat. I'm Joshua Klein, joined by Patrick Cassett, and the Masters is in full swing, and Tiger Woods looks like he could use a leg amputated. Patrick, what is going on with Tiger, and do we have to start thinking about alternative options for him to complete the Masters?
The leg doesn't look great, Josh. I've seen a healthier leg. We're happy to have Tiger back, but he's 9 strokes off the lead. And who's in that lead? We have Brooks Koepka, Victor Hovland, John Rahm. 3 big names in golf, and they're showing up, putting on a show in Augusta.
And what people are going to forget was that at one point during this Masters, Tiger was actually tied for the lead.
Yes.
And that, now granted, that was hole 1, but he was tied for the lead. So he has had a massive drop-off during the first day. And yeah, it's very curious to see that Tiger, I mean, in everyone's brains, Tiger is the GOAT. He's the greatest. Right now, I mean, he looks like he needs a peg leg. He looks like Patrick Mahomes, but if Patrick Mahomes didn't win a Super Bowl.
Yes. Right, because Patrick Mahomes, he comes off limping. He had some injury issues of his own. Now, can we argue that Tiger's was much more serious? Yes. But when you put 2 of the greatest in the sport to going at it, I mean, Josh, maybe the comparison's not far off.
I mean, probably not. You know what I will say about this, though? Can't we, I mean, if Tiger is so, so ill or whatever it is with his leg, can't we just maybe have a substitute for him? Like have somebody tap in?
Well, that's what everybody knows. Golf's had the Tiger effect. So let's have some Tiger effect rule changes, Josh. And I think you're going to bring one to the table here.
Well, all I'm saying is, and I brought this up in the show when we're going over show notes.
Pre-game.
Why can't Tiger's son just substitute in for him? I mean,
right.
Technically, 50% Tiger genetics. That's basically as close as you're going to get.
It's as close as we'll ever get again.
You might as well. If it's 50%, you might as well let him substitute. Like right. I think that, and I don't think that should be just a rule for the Masters. I think that should be a rule for all sports. If you are 50% somebody else's genetics, you are allowed to do a flip-flop. And twins, 100%, you can just interchange. It doesn't matter.
Josh, I think what you're saying is so, Tiger shoots 2 over first day.
Yeah.
Second day, you go, you know what? Charlie, you're coming in. I need you to play the front 9. I'll play the back.
Yeah.
And then you just swap off. And at that point, now you're reading, it becomes truly a team game.
I mean, and his son, by the way, like if I know anything about his son from the viral social media clips that I've seen, basically Tiger. Might as well be, right?
Good at golf. He's good at golf.
So can we expect him to just be able to plug and play? I think so.
Yeah. Okay. And Josh, this is great because if you make this a rule change across the board, you're expanding the sport into the next generation.
You're forcing. Because here's what's going to happen, Patrick, is that every dad is going to go, well, shoot, I need a sub. I gotta train up my kid to be really good. And so, boom, next thing you know, the future of golf is in safe hands because all these pro golfers are making sure their kids are ridiculously good at golf.
Because you might be able to win tournaments and money down the line if your kid's good at golf.
Seems like it. Now, what's the deal with this this Brooks Koepka guy? Here's the thing, Patrick. I am an avid golf fan, big golf guy. Everyone knows.
You're a dimple head.
I mean, I live and breathe on the course. That's
dude. Every time I'm over at your house, it's
golf. It's all we talk about. So basically, big golf guy. Twitter last night was a very interesting place because seems like a lot of people. Some people love this Brooks guy. A lot of people hate him very passionately, is what I kind of picked up. And I'm not really sure why. Because personally, from what from the extensive stuff I know about him,
right,
love him.
Well, it might not be as much as you know anymore because Golf Channel maybe doesn't cover the live guys as much. So, maybe not as much information that now. But, Brooks is the guy where you walk in and he's kind of goes against the status quo. He's the cool kid in town. He's the guy, smoking the cigs on the corner, and you're like, that guy's cool. Like, I go get a drink with that guy, and that guy just happens to play golf, which is rare.
And he's
normally
good at it.
Those guys play like football.
And he's very good, apparently, because tied for first.
He's very good.
If he wins, do you think that there's a list of dudes with green jackets that are like, please, like, we can't let him into the clubhouse. Like, please. Or do you think that's
No? A lot of people like Brooks. Like people on tour like Brooks, right?
Live
because
tour,
he's well, that's I would argue the guys on the live tour love Brooks. Okay, maybe the guys on the PGA tour just like him. Okay.
Yeah.
He's won majors before. He's won 2 US Opens. He's won PGA championships. This guy's good. I mean, it's not a shocker if he wins. It's this guy. He comes in. He struggled the last few years. He has not been healthy. If you watch the Netflix documentary,
he could have used the sun. That was really good.
Could have possibly used the son. That's really good. I think that would maybe require him to have a kid a while ago. So maybe that's a future generation thing. But
yeah, okay.
Right. But I mean, what's more impressive? If you have a son that can substitute for you, or if you're Brooks Koepka and you can just do the whole thing yourself?
I don't know. I think both are pretty impressive. If you were able to produce a son and make him that good that he could sub.
Yeah, but doesn't.
I'd say that's pretty good though.
But if you had a substitute as your son, would it be an asterisk?
An asterisk, maybe. It could be an asterisk, but also
like, would that be like Tiger wins it this week with Charlie? Like, would that be 15 and a half majors?
Do they give Charlie a jacket? You'd have to.
You have to.
You have to. It's only fair. Speaking of asterisks, Fernando Tatis Jr.
True, Josh.
Asterisks. Now,
not the Astros.
Asterisks.
Yes.
Which some would say asterisks as well. Same thing.
Yes.
Some would say. But Fernando Tatis Jr. obviously got into a little bit of trouble using some substances that you probably shouldn't be using. Now, some would say that you should be using, but that's neither here nor there.
And Josh, we're a pro player show,
player show.
If it's what you feel that you have to use, man,
do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do.
We're just gonna say, for the love of the sport, do what makes you the best,
right?
Whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he had some problems. He's not playing. He's still suspended. But he is allowed to play in AAA, which is kind of ridiculous. I mean, but pretty awesome.
That's awesome. That's like showing up to Little League, Josh, and you be like, yeah, I'm 12 years old. I got suspended for this game, but I'm going to go play with the 9-year-olds.
By the way, right now, and I haven't played baseball in a while, I think I could dominate Little League. I believe so. I believe
you think
fully
so?
in my heart. Yeah. Because here's the thing.
Okay, cool flex, dude.
I mean, I think I could.
Okay.
But anyway, so Fernando Tatis Jr.
You're also like a grown adult now. Like,
exactly. Well, I'm just saying, I think I could. So Fernando Tatis Jr. He strokes a home run, right? And which okay,
it happens.
Yeah. If you're in AAA, I mean, he stroked home runs in the MLB. So
right.
Something will tell me that happens in AAA as well. And somebody tweeted out, that home run, and the pitcher, Cade McClure, put asterisk,
not happy.
Cheater hits a home run on a rehab assignment during a steroid suspension. Just not happy. He's calling Fernando Tatis a cheater. Bringing up the past, which cool. Everyone knows Fernando Tatis Jr. is trying to move past that.
Right.
You know, that's like
It was a tough year.
It's
It was a
like
tough
if
year
you
for him.
were in rehab, Patrick, for whatever rehab, and I'm like,
Mm.
and then you say you do something successful and you achieve and you're back and I go, oh, rehab, Patrick, like. No, I'm not going to bring up that because you know what? That was really hard for you. You had to work through that.
And you know what, Fernando, he had a really tough year last year, right?
Yeah.
He fell off his motorcycle multiple times.
Yeah.
Got injured, couldn't
People are gonna
play the
talk about
start of
that.
last season. Then he was out, and then boom, he gets hit with the 80-game suspension. Tough year, man. He's coming back. This is future Fernando here, and Caden McClure is tearing him down.
Yeah. Yeah, and you also have to think about, he signs that big contract, right? And now he's suspended. He can't even play. He can't even get that money.
How's he going to feed his family?
How's he going to feed his family on a AAA contract?
Is he playing for free right now? Does he love baseball so much right now? And you're trying to tear him down?
Yeah. And by the way, he was giving you eyeballs. Cade.
At Cade MCC.
Seems to
I know
me
him
like
now.
Cade is trying to make excuses for why he couldn't strike him out.
You know what? Maybe Cade makes his own podcast now. It's called the Cheaters Pod.
Ooh. Do it, Cade. I mean, hey, tough situation, but hey, we stand with you, Fernando.
Tatis Jr.
Tatis Jr.
Yes.
Moving on. Stetson can't throw a strike. This is in the baseball vein.
This is a cause for concern.
Accuracy issues. Stetson Bennet may have some serious accuracy issues. Clip of Stetson Bennet is circulated internet of him throwing out the first pitch at the Braves game. And while he does have some gas on that pitch, what he doesn't have is any accuracy. I mean, that was a ball if I've ever seen one.
Right. And Josh, if we know one thing, it doesn't matter how hard you throw. You got to throw strikes. Okay.
Got to throw strikes.
You got to throw strikes.
I mean, you got to give yourself a chance to get the guy out.
Right. You walk a 4-pitch walk. I mean, you have no chance to get the guy out.
No. And now, granted, have you ever seen the Lamar Jackson first pitch?
Okay. Well,
we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk
different time. That was a different time period, Josh.
Different time period. So
Lamar Jackson didn't grow up playing baseball. You know who did?
Stetson Bennet. So Stetson Bennet, yeah, this is definitely cause for concern. If he doesn't have, did he lose his zip?
If he can't hit someone from 60 feet away, how's he going to hit a tight end in the middle of the field?
Well, Patrick, I'd argue that maybe this has been here the whole time, and that Todd Monken's scheme was so good that
he's a system guy.
That his guys were so wide open that it's like, hey, he was hitting them, but it might have not been that accurate. But they're so wide open it didn't matter. But now that he's out of the system, Todd Monken's with the Ravens, Stetson's on his own, and now he has to throw strikes. He can't do it.
Maybe Stetson's just a system quarterback.
Maybe. We're gonna find that out, I guess.
Also, Josh, is there? Look, I'm just gonna throw this out there.
Oh no,
I don't have sources inside the Stetson camp. And
I know what you're gonna bring up here. This is gonna be a bombshell.
Josh, did you see who caught the first pitch for Stetson?
I did see.
It was part of the blooper squad, the blooper crew. It was a guy with helping the mascot, Blooper. It wasn't even a real player. Is there locker room character issues with Stetson Bennet that he can't even get an Atlanta Brave to catch his first pitch?
Instinct tells me yes.
Maybe he just needs to get himself out of Georgia.
Or spin zone. Catcher scared that Stetson was going to have so much zip on the ball. He's like, I can't put myself behind that plate. I mean, without any gear on because,
you know what, Josh?
Can't do that.
You might be right. You 100% might be right.
He's like, Stetson Bennett's too good.
They're sitting there. They're just like, this guy's 2-time national champion, gets arrested for public intoxication.
They said,
boom.
He's going to throw that thing maybe 102 miles an hour. I'm not ready for that.
They said Stetson Bennet, alpha male. I don't want to catch him. He's too good.
Yeah. They said, I'm not even worthy of catching.
You're not right. It's like I've only won World Series, and you've won 2 national championships. I'm not on the same level.
Not same level.
They were starstruck. They were starstruck by Stetson Bennett.
By the way, Patrick, and I'm just going to bring this up, and I don't want to jinx anything.
Just
so
bring it up.
I
Just bring it up,
even,
Josh. Just
I
bring it up.
even, I don't want to bring it up. But
I mean, you got to bring it up.
Georgia in a prime spot for maybe a third national championship. And me and Dave Klein were talking about this the other day. That would make it, if that happens, it would be, I believe, to my knowledge, the first time that like a major program has won 3 national championships, and not a sport. I can't speak on sports like soccer or any whatever, but we're talking football, we're talking basketball.
Right.
Patrick, you are only ever going to attend school for 3 years at Georgia.
Josh, I haven't seen a loss.
So, some would argue that, I mean, like, not some would argue, like, you would, like, actually have the best college fanhood and college performance of as a fan ever. And because there's a lot of people in school who are going to, at your school, they're going to see 3 national championships, and they go for 4 years. So unless they win 4th, it's like, hey, we got 3 out of 4.
Josh,
Patrick, you're one of the few people who are probably only going to go for 3 years.
2 years. Really?
2 years, and somehow see 3 national championships potentially in 2 years. That's a 30 for 30.
What if I told you
that you lived the greatest college experience of all time?
Yeah. Josh, the game before I showed up here on the campus, they lost to Alabama. I show up here. They beat Alabama. They then go undefeated, win a title.
That's just crazy. And then they haven't lost since.
And they haven't lost since.
Wow.
I don't know what it's like to experience a loss on this campus.
That's legendary, dude. Hey, good for you, Patrick. Proud of you.
Josh.
Proud of you. Moving on. LeBron probably makes the playoffs. Hey, most important games of his career, he stepped up to the plate. He said, hey, these are the most important games of my career. I'm going to probably make the playoffs.
And you know what? He's probably going to play through that injury because he's going to find the LeBron James of foot doctors.
Found him.
Boom.
He probably found him.
Probably found him.
Probably.
Do you think he probably went out of the country for it?
Probably. He's probably going to win a championship this year.
Probably.
If I had to know, if I knew anything about LeBron.
You think he could? Hey, wins a championship? Hey, probably going to win Finals MVP.
Probably. I guess. Probably gonna.
You look at this.
Turn a lot of heads in the Jordan LeBron debate.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to happen. Look, Bronny James, he's probably going to play with him in 2 years. So I mean, there's a lot of things working for LeBron here.
Probably. I mean, that's what it seems like. Hey, good for LeBron for probably making the playoffs.
Yeah,
and probably the most important games of his career.
And probably the most wide open Western Conference in a while.
Probably. So, good. Hey, good for LeBron. We don't need to say that subject more. We just had to bring it up. It was notable. We said that's probably something we should talk about.
Right.
Okay, moving on to... Wait. Patrick, I have Carson to the Ravens on my notes. That can't be right.
Carson Wentz. Well, I mean, we know. Look, I mean, this is. Look, if he doesn't go down with a devastating injury, we're talking about a former MVP, Carson Wentz here, and you're talking about the Baltimore Ravens being able to pick him up.
Don't just talk about former MVP. Talk about Super Bowl champion Carson Wentz. People are gonna forget that Super Bowl champion Carson Wentz.
Like you don't think he was over there on the sideline drawing up plays for Nick Foles?
Yeah,
like you're talking about a Class A guy.
Some would say he was the most influential quarterback on that team. In that Super Bowl.
Carson Wentz walked so Nick Foles could run.
Carson Wentz. Yeah.
I mean, look, you cannot talk about the history of the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFL
without talking about Carson Wentz.
Boom. Is he a Hall of Famer?
Oh, man.
By that logic?
That's a great point. He kind of changed the whole franchise.
He changed. Look, he brought back winning ways. He bridged the Donovan McNabb to Carson Wentz era.
Bridged it very well. I mean, and sure, he had a couple hiccups, but I'm going to choose to ignore all those. And I think it seems to me like Carson Wentz to the Ravens is a possibility. Now,
I mean, Josh, let's
Carson,
not forget this past year.
What's the past year?
He had the starting job over Taylor Heineke, who has been the most successful quarterback for the Commanders in their franchise history since probably RG3. And the fact that he was able to get the starting job over that guy speaks volumes to how good of a quarterback he is.
Very true. And I would say that, man, I had a point that was really good, and then you took that second, and I lost it. All I will say, it's the Ravens tried to bring in Baker Mayfield. Now it seems like Carson Wentz is on the table. You say, hey, we lost out on Baker Mayfield, who, I mean, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time if we're going strictly off of advertisements. Commercials.
And the fact that he is the only quarterback to lead the Browns to a playoff victory. Like, let's not overshadow that. Like, he did the impossible.
Nobody else has been able to do it.
Like, it's literally been impossible.
Hey, Patrick.
And Baker Mayfield did it.
How many playoff wins did Peyton Manning lead the Browns to? 0. Well, okay, what about Tom Brady? How many playoff wins did Tom Brady lead the Browns to?
0 Browns. And you know what? He didn't even beat the Browns, Josh. He didn't even beat the Browns in the playoffs.
Yeah, So what are we even talking about here?
We're talking about one of the greatest of all time, Baker Mayfield.
See, now this kind of ruins my argument because I was going to say I'd rather have Carson Wentz over Baker Mayfield, but now I'm talking. I feel like oh man, I feel like we really missed out on Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, we did. We missed out on one of the better ones. He's look, top 2 not to in commercials. And
easily.
Just a baller on the field.
Easily. Well, Carson Wentz might potentially be a Raven. That's a rumor. Who knows? If that's true, then I welcome to Baltimore, Carson. I'm sure actually Carson and Marlon Humphrey would be best friends.
Somehow they would go hunting together. I feel like they would.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, have you seen Marlon Humphrey's ranch?
I mean, he's loving it.
It's awesome. It is awesome. Like, that's the place that, like, Carson would be like, yep, this is home. So that's very cool. Moving on, so we covered that. Check. Masters, Fernando Tatis Jr. Check. Carson, the Ravens. Check. Stetson Bennet strike. LeBron.
Check.
Probably makes the playoffs. Okay, moving on to NASCAR predictions here at Bristol Dirt. And I feel like this is one of those few tracks where, listen, I know a thing or two about Bristol Dirt because everyone knows in the simulator, I was racing the dirt circuit. Bristol Dirt was one of the tracks that we went to. And I'll tell you what, that's one of my better tracks. People are going to forget. I came second place, went toe-to-toe with Tony Stewart, Bristol Dirt. So.
In a game.
In a game. But I know that experience. I know what it's like. And I tell you what, it's very different than a lot of the dirt tracks. Because, it's a little bit bigger than some of these dirt tracks. You can go a little bit harder in the turns. You got a little bit more banking.
Higher banking.
Yeah, it's different experience. So, but that being said, it's still dirt track. You got to know how to race dirt track.
Can you do me a favor? Sunday night when this race comes on, can you tweet out like you're like a dirt expert? Like, can you?
Well, I'm gonna say I'm actually gonna just like screen record my race and just like clip it.
Can you if someone like spins out, be like, oh yeah, no, he just the wheel got really loose. That's what happens. He did it. Higher banking dirt tracks.
You gotta let up just a little bit on that right there, and it's too late. You got to time that.
Yeah, and it'd be like it's because of the type of dirt they have at Bristol. That's a rookie mistake.
Rookie mistake. You got to know that. You got to look at the pH balance on there. It makes a difference. Now I am going to be. I do believe all those things that you just said though. Anyway, so when I look at Bristol Dirt, and I look at predictions, and I said it Monday, and I'm red hot right now. I gotta go with my gut. I gotta go Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson. I mean, I think that's a really solid choice. You're picking a guy that can pretty much race anything, and dirt is one of the cars that he can drive.
Yeah. And
And
by the way,
so,
might win every single race for the whole entire year.
yeah, we're talking about greatest ever.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now. We are about to watch potentially one of the greatest runs in NASCAR. I mean, the greatest run in NASCAR history. So I'm gonna just be on top of that. Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson. I mean, I feel like that's a really, really strong pick.
Yeah.
Considering that he's definitely the favorite, right? I'm pulling up the odds right now, but he's like, there's no way he's not.
Got to be the favorite.
Like, Josh, you know who
but,
I really like?
But the sports book, they've been listening. They've been listening to what I've been saying, and they've been like, "Yeah, you're right. Jeez, like this guy's about to go on a perfect run here."
What do you think the Kyle Larson odds are this weekend?
Plus 250, 350 to win.
550.
Okay, I was pretty close.
Plus 550, and you know who
That's kind of terrible odds for a win.
Terrible odds. I really like Chase Briscoe this weekend. Plus 800. He's got a dirt background. Almost won it last year. Probably should have won it over Reddick. I'm going Chase Briscoe. I really like him.
Yeah, good. Okay, that's great. So Chase Briscoe, Kyle Larson, book it. Moving on to XFL predictions.
Yes.
Now this is where I have a little bit of
Josh, take the floor.
I'm nervous. Okay,
Take the floor.
Because as a Roughnecks fan, I was like you, Patrick. I was like you as a Georgia fan. I never known a loss, ever. It was awesome. So all we did was win, no matter what. Had money on our mind.
Oh, you
Did I mess it up? Dang it. Well, anyway, all we did was win, and then now for 3 weeks straight, we've lost. I don't know how it's happened. Last week, we didn't have Brandon Silvers starting quarterback. Sure, that plays into it, but that wasn't the only reason we lost. We lost because we couldn't get it done. I don't know what Wade Phillips is doing over there. He's got to get the boys in check. That being said, this week is our get-back week, but the problem is that we're going against a team that we already beat who's looking for a get-back week. So,
well, and Josh, I mean, this is a personal rivalry for you.
It's a personal rivalry. It's me versus Hines Ward, a rivalry as old as time. And I'm not letting Hines Ward get the best of me. Again, he's got the best of me several times.
Can't happen.
Can't have it. So I need the boys to buckle down. I need Brandon Silvers to come back healthy, to figure out what it means to throw with a completion percentage above 50%.
Which would be good.
Which would be great. Yeah. Wide receivers who can catch the ball. And we might be all right if that happens.
I'll tell you what, the defenders got Seattle Dragons this week, and
they're hot.
I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried because Gucci Danucci's coming in here with Josh Gordon, and it's like
Patrick. They are the first loss against in Roughnecks history, and they're good. Trust me. I wish
DC's coming off.
I witnessed it first. You look why the worst. Yeah, you had a worse loss this week.
DC just came off the worst loss in spring football history.
Lost to the Guardians. I mean, they haven't won a game, Patrick.
Ever.
Yeah, ever.
They were like Orlando.
They were the opposite of the Roughnecks as of 2 weeks ago.
Right, and now all of a sudden we might be on the outside looking in for the XFL playoffs, and it's like
because Battlehawks right now. Battlehawks are hot.
Well, considering that DC's beat them twice, I'm not too worried about them. I am a little bit worried about the Gucci and the Danucci, and we'll see how he comes in. I'll tell you what, looking forward to watching.
Man, I'll tell you, that wasn't really predictions. I'm predicting Roughnecks get a win, though. Okay,
I predict 2 interceptions from Brandon Silvers. Well, no, actually, he's not going to throw 2 interceptions because they'll bench him. I'm predicting an interception from Brandon Silvers, and he goes 13 for 27.
I would take
7 yards.
That's tough. Well, we'll see what happens.
I would argue that the stats are on par with every other game he's played.
I know, but he's changing it. He's turning it around. I don't know why we don't get like Joe Flacco or something. Like I think we can go. There's options.
Imagine you just sign Joe Flacco for the stretch run.
Dude, that'd be so. I don't think we lose. There's no way. We would be so good.
It's like you just signed Flacco for the last like 3 weeks of the season. And you're like, we're ready to go.
I don't know what the rules are on that, but we got to figure out a way to make that happen.
I
Cool.
think you can just do it. I think you just do whatever you want.
Oh, that's awesome. What about Johnny Manziel? He's out there. There's quarterbacks, is all I'm saying, guys. And to I don't know who the management is of. I'm still learning that. There's quarterbacks out there. You can get a guy.
It's literally the Rock. He owns the league.
So yeah, so the Rock is the one who has to sign my team's quarterbacks.
See now you lost me. I don't know.
Because that makes no sense. So he's just picking and choosing where to go. Hey, you probably be good over there. You probably be good over there.
That's your was that Adam Sandler or the Rock? what you just pulled out an Adam Sandler impression from nowhere. That made absolutely no sense.
Well, it just says I don't know. That's what in my brain.
I can guarantee you, the Rock does not talk like that. I can guarantee you that.
Cool. So hey, well, Rock, if you're doing that, can you get me a quarterback, please? And thank you. Moving on. Drake drops a single called Search and Rescue with Kim K not only on the cover, but literally in the song. So this is making my brain turn a little bit. It's making me go, okay, is this a shot at Kanye? Is this a shot at Ye? Or I don't know what else it could be.
Probably a shot at Kanye. Look,
why?
Drake's gonna do his thing, man. He's bringing in. How do you want more eyeballs? You're Drake. How do you get bigger eyeballs? You go Kardashian. Because now you're bringing in, this is multinational now. You bring in all of Canada. You bring in all of the United States. Boom. Drake and Kim K.
This feels like a kind of a classless move by Drake, though, kicking Kanye while he's down. In the same week he drops a song, this is the week, people are going to forget, this is the week that Kanye's Donda School is being sued for only serving sushi. So, what
I would argue this has been a bad run.
Kanye has a tough week after making a miraculous bounce back thanks to
maybe I would argue maybe it's been tougher than just a week. I'd say this last bit's been tough for Kanye.
No, because some of it maybe was on him a little bit, but it seems like post watching 21 Jump Street, people, it's been hard on him, and his eyes have been opened, but then all of a sudden, boom, lawsuit. They said, hey, you can't only serve sushi to the kids. And he's like, what?
Isn't Antonio Brown involved in that as well?
Is he part of he might be.
So he's part of Donda Sports.
Boom. So Antonio Brown with Kanye.
Was Antonio Brown the cafeteria person?
You know what? That actually would make a lot of sense. So Antonio,
like, kids, we're just having sushi.
So they only serve sushi. They get sued. Then all of a sudden, Kanye's like, "Oh man, I know kids didn't want to just eat sushi. So I love sushi." And then all of a sudden,
that's your Kanye impression.
I don't know. That's not. I'm not trying. I just whatever comes in my brain, it comes out. That's what happens, Patrick. And so then, next thing you know, he's like, "Okay, well, I think the media's kind of moved past that." And then Drake, boom, Search and Rescue, Kim K, ex-wife, not on the album cover, in the song, and then you go, what?
It's tough for Kanye right now. He's having a very bad stretch of years.
Very bad stretch.
Yeah, Josh, I think it's a show.
Yeah, tough time. Song was kind of, it was all right.
I think song will grow.
I think it'll grow on me.
People.
Every song I listen to is always like, I don't know how I feel about that. And if I hear it enough times, all it takes is if I hear it in a TikTok sound, then it's like, because then it gets.
And Drake's going to be working hard. OVO's working hard to get that in the TikTok sound.
Oh yeah, he's figuring out. He's like, hey, what influencer got contact? What I got to start doing?
Kim K. I mean, it's easy. You just
get true. Is Northwest gonna be? Wait. Why would Northwest? No, that'd be such a betrayal.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Does she
you
even
wouldn't.
know? Is it
I see where that gets tricky because it's like the family
because
ties
they don't
back.
really, and they try to
The
keep the
family,
beat. They try to
yeah,
keep her like under like if
it's
Northwest just
tough.
comes out singing lip syncing to the song Drake wrote about her mom.
That's
Like
tough. It's a
she
tough
can't really be
situation.
blamed because she probably doesn't know any better. But then it's like, oh wait, she's taking a shot at her dad.
But like maybe she didn't know.
Yeah, that's gonna be brutal, brutal. Well, that's the show. Thank you guys for listening, watching, and viewing. Is the same thing as watching. Subscribing. If
Boom.
you're listening to this part of the episode, make sure you guys DM us on Instagram at Picks and
Just trying to give away that
Pancakes
mug.
to get a free mug. I mean, episode what, like 40? We're still
Still giving out the
we're
mug.
still giving out the mug. Also go to picksandpancakes.com to read everything that's happening in sports right now.
Boom. We got an air review coming out today on the movie.
Oh, you see it?
Yes, we did.
Who's we?
Me and Jack, a little joint review. We got coming out.
I want to see it. Give me your overall thoughts.
It was very good. My computer's about to die if I log off here, but very good and one of the best movies of the year.
So that's why I'm trying to wrap it up. I get it. Okay, so great. I really want to see it. I'm excited for that. Cool. I also want to see the Mario movie. Gonna be seems like will be a good movie as well. Jack Black looks like a very good Bowser. Anyway, guys, that's the show. You have a wonderful day. Enjoy your Friday. Happy Good Friday, and enjoy your Easter. A peace.